My friends, October 28th, 2019, Tuesday, 6:45 a.m., and we got to talk about these California fires. Governor has declared a statewide emergency over wildfires as mass evacuations continue. They are evacuating massive parts of California because of these wildfires and the Santa Ana winds, particularly near Santa Rosa. I'm sure a lot of you have seen a lot of information on this already. What I want to show you are some satellite views of these fires and a fire that may have just popped up in the last 2 hours near Los Angeles, California. We can see these from space, guys. We're on a particle chart. So the clouds and the sun move in and out. The chart gets dark, and then we can see heat signatures and stuff like that. We also pulled up a fire chart to show you what's currently going on in Northern California near San Francisco and also Los Angeles, which is right where we caught this second fire. This strip of islands here, you go straight across through Los Angeles. This fire is right about here in this wooded area to the west of Los Angeles. So we may be hearing about this in the near future, this particular fire right here. If I back up, it goes into yesterday. You will see this. So this is daytime. It's measuring particle size NIR chart. And you're going to see these islands right here. And this is where Los Angeles is. And you're going to see in this wooded area a fire pop right up. And it's also lined up with a very big hot spot going on north of Long Beach and to the west of Los Angeles. We see the islands out here just underneath Oxnard. And then we come across and there's this wooded area right here by Los Angeles that does get affected by the Sierra Nevada mountains. The winds that come down from those mountains and swirl out towards the ocean, hurricane force winds are fanning a lot of these fires, guys. That's why they're so intense and so crazy, and that's why San Francisco is basically covered by fire. And we can see north of Santa Rosa here where the state emergency is. We see a fire plus a bunch of hot spot signatures. Now, if I bring you back to the satellite here, this is Los Angeles. And as we move throughout the night, you don't see much. You see little heat signatures pop up here and there, but then towards the end of the night, almost in the last 2 hours, you see this right here. This pops up right to the west of Los Angeles in that wooded area right along the coast here. And once we get to frame 200, it's really getting prominent right there. So this could be a brand new fire that we're seeing right now pop up in the last 2 hours near Los Angeles, California, while we're watching the north part of California, and that's right here. So excuse me, what I'm going to do is back this up. You can see the Sierra Nevada mountains, the northern part of them right there with the wind curling over them. They play a big part in these fires here with the Santa Ana winds, even up by San Francisco. I have family that live right around the Bay Area, so I've been watching this pretty closely. But you can see as day turns into night and the cloud particles move down, we see the night shift, and then boom, we can see the heat signature of these fires. Not only that, but this thing is bowed to the east. You can see that bowing effect, and as we move forward, you can see it's kind of crawling slowly. That's how fires work. And we have basically three different signatures here. We have this big one here, Santa Rosa, which is where state of emergency has been declared, and then we have one right here near San Francisco Bay, and then another one down to the southeast a little bit. And you could take this chart and match this stuff right up to where these fires are. So very interesting that we're seeing these now from space. And you can see right here, just as night turns to day, that fire is already burning. Those heat signatures are already there. And there you have it right there. So we'll go back to the real-time fire. And you can see here Santa Rosa, just north of the San Francisco Bay. And it's kind of arced like this. So we're looking at the same exact thing on this chart here. Here's the bay. Here's that arc fire. And I believe it's called, what is this fire called? We can click right here, thermal activity. Red flag warning, red flag, thermal activity. They may not have a name for this fire yet. They should. Here's the area at which they're closed off right now. I know there was a fire called the Tick Fire, which I think was a little more south, but just look at this area of San Francisco, guys. All these heat signatures, Stage Fire, Glen Cove Fire, Pleasant Hill Fire, Rao Fire, Arena Fire. There's fire going on all over the place to the north and to the south, and then we're even into Arizona, parts of to the west of Las Vegas. We have fires in New Mexico, all these heat signatures all over the country right now. And to top that off, California has not been getting a break as far as earthquakes go. Just today alone, look at the Santa Rosa area and the fault lines near here. Here's the Bay. Here is almost exactly where we saw the fires. 3.3 near the geysers of California. These could definitely cause heat signatures that we could read on this chart here. So if we go back up towards this area here, Santa Rosa, some of these heat signatures could be coming from geysers. We got Lake Barisal right here, and then we got Concadia right here, and Clear Lake right to the north of it, Highway 101 by the Russian River. So we could follow this river and kind of get an idea of where this stuff is. This checkerboard area, if you scroll down on this chart here, it tells you, well, it did tell you. Here we go. Sorry about that. This is active perimeter areas. So this is an active perimeter near Santa Rosa. not only where the earthquakes went off, but also where those fires are directly right now. Here's that lake we just spoke about. That Highway 101 runs right down in this area. So a lot going on in Northern California. We got real-time charts of the fires. We're also checking out the wind patterns associated with this and why these fires are getting so strong. And we have a high pressure in the northwest right now. Very big cold front that's coming down through the center of the country right now. In fact, I pulled up temperature charts. We have single digits in the center or the west center of the country, Idaho, those states like that. Colorado, things like that, and it's all moving down into the northern parts of Texas. We got New Mexico in there, Arizona, and that's going to swing west to east over time, and then we'll be talking about Halloween weather and stuff like that. But these temperatures are not exactly fire ready, so you would look at these temperatures and not assume that there's a lot of fires going on, but it's the winds, it's the fanning of these fires that's really causing the issue. Before I get too far ahead of myself, there's also a tsunami buoy going off currently. There's no real warning out there right now. There was an earthquake by the Alaskan Strip Islands right here. And then when you go to the National Buoy Center, you can see this one buoy is actually triggered right now. Could have been triggered last night. Chances are it was today during this quake right here. This 3.8 east of Atuan, Alaska. But guys, so this is pretty important. We got pretty significant earthquakes going on in South California and Northern California, right where those fires are. So this is Los Banos, California, and you can see right down here would be where Los Angeles is. These strip islands right here. This is LA right here, and here's that wooded area that we were looking at with the heat signature from space. This is a very prominent signature, and you can see right here, it's 8:16 UTC time, and by the time we get to 2 hours later, this is an open, pretty open area right here. This is about 2-3 miles of burned area, if that in fact is a fire, and it really looks like one. It looks like this thing pops right up and gets bigger and bigger and brighter, just like flames would. And then once again, we'll go back to the Northern California area near Santa Rosa, where there's state of emergency currently, and that's been burning for a good 20 hours now, even longer. So this is about an 18-hour loop we're looking at here. You see those winds coming down over the Sierra Nevada mountains in the north. And then as we move forward, you can see the fire arcing out 1, 2, 3. And we move forward, and it's still there. And you will see this when the sun comes up, too, as we make our way farther into the morning. It's 6:53 now. Wanted to get that information out about the California fires. Guys, it is serious in California right now. In fact, I was bringing up some of the numbers they were talking about. The mandatory evacuations affected nearly 180,000 people. About 54,000 acres have already been torched. 94 structures destroyed, and State Route 128 turned into a hellish gauntlet. And 80,000 structures remain under threat as we talk right now. This came out this morning, this article from the Washington Post. This is the largest evacuation that any of us at the Sheriff's Office can remember. The Sonoma Sheriff's Department tweeted in both English and Spanish, "Take care of each other." They're basically throwing it out there for you guys to handle this yourselves and basically follow these warnings that they're talking about. Napa County, people are calling it an apocalyptic site. Said Carol Pajalov, 67, who fled her home in Santa Rosa. So we can see Santa Rosa is one of those hot spots. And look at the wind gusts they had, guys. Tell me this would not fan a fire. 93 miles an hour sweeping through the hills and valleys. State and local officials expanded the number of areas under mandatory evacuation orders. Some of Santa Rosa were told to leave, and we can start seeing why. The article continues. They had shelters with over 4,600 people, probably closer to 5,000 or 6,000 right now. And then there's pictures upon pictures upon pictures and videos. We can see right here is that area we were just looking at. The Kincaid fire is what we were looking at on this satellite chart right here. This is the Kincaid fire right here on satellite. Seeing it from space is pretty wild. And we have another fire here by a body of water. So we're going to check out these three areas. We're going to get a weather update out to you guys, but I wanted to get this out as quick as possible to show you where the latest action areas are in California as far as the fires go. And look at all the heat signatures around here. These are all areas that could be lit up at any moment. And once we back out, you get a real good idea about what is going on in this state, and including other states as well. But just look at California right now. That is just unbelievable, the amount of fires. And we thought last year was bad. This year is turning out to be a little worse than last year. So, all right, guys, with that said, that's the information I got for you for this morning. I hope everyone's having a good morning. Again, very cold in the west, still a little warm Mild in the east right now. We'll see what happens with Halloween. It looks like we could be getting some rain in the near future. We will check that out. Single digits going on, 7 degrees, 3 degrees, right in the center area of that high pressure system moving on. And then we got Beck and snow maybe coming our way. We got a low pressure that's going to keep the east separated from the west, at least for the next couple days. So we will talk about that as it comes. Santa Ana winds are blowing in California. Red flag warnings all over the place. That's where these pink colors are right here, red flag warnings, and we got rain and storm warnings in the east. So, all right, guys, with that said, I'm going to let you go again. Have a great morning. We will talk soon. Thank you very much.